Hey everyone, I got about 9-10 minutes to do this, but when I did my audio video response to Jeremy Whitley, um, discussing, I guess, at the BabsCon that he meant, and basically you could watch the video. It's a long video, but uh, which I do apologize for. But basically, he said that the reason well, not the reason, but basically Jeremy Whiteley brought up that he would love to see, and he was serious about this, he would love to see LGBT, more precisely a Rainbow Dash Fluttershy shipping made canon, not just probably in the comic, but in the cartoon series. Now, what's funny about this is one of the main writers of the cartoon series agreed with him, but also said that it's not really his decision to make it happen. Now, with that said, here's a question. Does LGBT belong in an all ages comic? Now, let me explain. I can understand, all right? I can understand, DC Comics making Batwoman, the new Batwoman, a lesbian. I get that. Making her bisexual, mostly lesbian. I get that. Batman in the Batman comics, if not the cartoon, if not the animated films now by DC, are for a more older, mature audience. An audience that can relate to that. That can, you know, understand where she's coming from. Now, with that said, one could say and understand LGBT in a more mature setting, in more mature media like the comics by DC and Marvel, and maybe even Archie, if you will. They can understand if it's displayed in any media on television, whether it's Arrow, The Flash, the upcoming Riverdale series, you name it, NCIS, Law and Order. They can understand if it's placed there, and even in the movies as well. But does it belong in an all ages media, in any kind of all ages comics or media? Now, Disney Channel has, I guess, decided to go in this direction with one of the live action series that they have. But again, does it belong there? I know a lot of people will have their opinions on that. But when somebody, one of the head writers or one of the main writers of the comic for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, when they come out and say, hey, this should happen, and you have a mixed reaction by fans, then you kind of know that the mixed reaction I saw was a majority of the reaction that listened to what I had to say, listened to my thoughts on it, and as well as clicked, as well as, like I said, listen to the video, listen to my thoughts, listen to what I was reading off from the Twitter. There were a lot of fans, a majority of them, that don't like the idea. Some are kind of like mixed about it, and some are intrigued. Some are like, yeah, I'd like to see what would happen. But when you have a majority of the reaction being like, even on YouTube and on Facebook at those group pages, when you have a reaction being like, no, we don't want to see that, then you pretty much, and some of them are like, and some of them are like, why should this even be considered? This is a kids show. This is an all ages show. It shouldn't even be thought about. One has to really consider, does LGBT belong in any all ages comic? I mean, like I said, if you got a Batman, Superman, Justice League, Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, X-Men, whatever you want to call them, or whatever you want to choose, if you have any of those comic book mediums, or even from a television standpoint, Law and Order, NCIS, what have you, deciding, hey, we're gonna introduce an LGBT couple into the into the canon, into the continuity. That's because they can. They have a little bit more freelance, more free will, because those shows and those comics are meant for a more mature audience that can understand where they're coming from. I mean, you look at anime, for example, and some of the adult anime. I'm not just talking, a lot of the triple X rated material either. I'm talking some of that adult anime. Well, yeah, there's going to be perhaps a very soft core scene in there once in a while, or an implied scene. But you also know that those mature adult animes are going to acknowledge, they're going to hint at, some LGBT in the realm. Sometimes there have been animes, from what I understand, mature adult animes, where the main focus, if let's say it's a comedy, dramedy, drama comedy, what have you, and the main focus is a boy and a girl falling in love. Once in a while, that adult mature anime, again, not of the triple X material, but that adult mature anime will be of one that once in a while will have a lesbian scene in it. Yeah, it'll have a lesbian scene with the main female protagonist who's fallen in love with the guy, and maybe her best friend, maybe the guy's sister. I don't know. Basically, there's going to be either a very soft-core scene between the two. There's going to be an implied scene between the two. There's going to be there will be kissing, there's no doubt. So, adult anime, mature anime, and again, not of just the triple X kind, but the very soft core, if that at all, but the very mature adult anime will have it as well, because just like with shows like Law and Order, NCIS, and comics like Batman, Justice League, Superman, Avengers, Iron Man, Captain America, X-Men, Deadpool, Daredevil, they can get away with it because those comics, those mediums, those shows are meant for a more mature audience that can understand that can accept it. Grey's Anatomy, one of the most popular shows out there on ABC, has done this. And why? Because they could get away with it. But the question is, does it belong in an all ages medium? Honestly, no, it doesn't. Not in my opinion. In my opinion, no, it doesn't. I mean, if the writers of a comic book, an all ages comic book, want to do it, go ahead, fine. You deal with the backlash. Same thing with an animated show. Even though some animated shows, currently and in the past, have implied some LGBTing, the point is, in my opinion, I don't think it really belongs there, but I do respect the opinions of those writing the show. So if they feel, hey, let's put some LGBT in it, they're going to do it. So overall, the way I look at it, if the people at My Little Pony, especially the animated series, if they want to put LGBT into the cartoon and make it canon, make it part of the continuity between two of the main 6 or 7, whatever you want to call them, in Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash, go ahead, fine. You deal with the aftermath. Same with if you want to do it in the comic book. Because I'll tell you this, when word got out that when Ken Penders was working on the Sonic comic book, mostly around the Mobius Years Later canon, he wanted Rotor of all characters, to come out as gay. Which is why he had Rotor in the Mobius Years Later continuity always around this echidna called Crowbar. Or Crowbar, whatever. Or Crowbar. Crobar. Or whatever you want to call it. Or whatever you want to call him. Had them around each other because it was going to be implied from Ken Penders that Rotor was gay, and this was his soulmate. This was his, boyfriend, if you will. So you could definitely see the reaction that even though Rotor is not that popular as a character, and maybe in the eyes of some not an intriguing character, you could see the reaction by fans when they, even after Ken Penders left, to find out that he wanted to do that with Rotor. The reaction was like, why? Why even imply that? I mean, there's even a recent indication on a Bumblecast where Ian Flynn, I don't know if he was serious or joking, but it sounded like he was kind of both, basically indicated that he would like to make Sally and Nicole a couple, because I think somebody asked him that, and make it official in the book, but because it's an all ages book, he can't get away with that. And the reaction, yes, because of both Sally and Nicole, was not a good one, because it's like, why would you want to take a long establishing character in Sally as well as Nicole and just have them come out and say, hey, now we're lovers, we're girlfriends, we're LGBT? It doesn't make sense. And I think he even indicated it wouldn't belong there in an all ages comic. So my honest opinion is two ways. You want to do it? Go ahead. You deal with the aftermath. But my own personal opinion, no. I don't think LGBT belongs in all ages media. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I am out.